Today's highlight is the phenomenal story of Gate from Malaysia. But when you hear from Captain Green Shankar, the founder of global action team Gate from Malaysia, will be to launch Green Malaysia, Clean Malaysia 2030 or GMCM 2030. The Kingdom of Nature, It's Now or Never project is already being dubbed the largest environmental rejuvenation, or indeed the largest climate change action project of all time, related to the United Nations directly via the inbox of the Secretary-General of the UN himself, and the cure for climate change. Perhaps now Malaysia will be taken more seriously on the global stage. And soon with the interview of Captain Green Shankar from Gate, the environmental powerhouse.
GMCM 2030, explained.
The climate change and global warming.
First, we need to understand that climate change is not a problem of the environment. It is a human problem. We are in danger. This is the reason why the United Nations and the rest of the world are so worried and trying to find a solution for a few decades now. In reality, human activity is the 100% cause of this climate change. We just don't know when and how nature will strike back. But one thing we know, the consequences will be just unbearable. Whatever that's happening now around the world is just 5% of what climate change can do to us, so it is our responsibility to take the right action to ensure it doesn't get any worse.
GMCM 2030 and the government of Malaysia.
Over 32 million people in Malaysia will have to face the harsh reality of climate change should the elected government of the day fail to address this issue. On this front, we must appreciate the government of Malaysia for acknowledging the importance of addressing this issue now. GMCM 2030 will be the main communication channel that will support the government of Malaysia in educating and preparing the people to effortlessly understand and adapt to the changing world. GMCM 2030 would be a massive platform for the government to expedite implementation of any new effort and smoothen the transition to a sustainable way of living.
The people.
Scientists are saying the damage caused by climate change will worsen in years to come. In Malaysia there will be hundreds of problems due to the unpredictable and extreme weather conditions, including drought, heatwave, wildfire, giant flood and other environmental catastrophes. But, how many people in Malaysia know about this? Do people even know that there is something called climate change exist in the first place? If the people do not understand what's happening, how can a country even think about sustainability? People have to understand that in the end, the burden or impact of climate change will fall on their heads. As we can see now, prices of food are increasing, soon the carbon tax will be imposed, and we expect more climate taxes to follow suit.
What is Green Malaysia, Clean Malaysia 2030?
Essentially, Project GMCM 2030 is an exciting and joyful environmental project, a systematic and gradual process of educating people on the importance of preserving Mother Earth and living in harmony with nature. This project will teach people how to adapt and, most importantly, how to be prepared to break free from getting caught in famine and other possible impacts of climate change. This will be done by creating a massive environmentally conscious atmosphere and surroundings where environmental topics will automatically become a part of daily conversation among people. We will use entertainment elements and music to launch this project with the slogan, Project Rakyat Malaysia, to ease our way into every home in Malaysia. GMCM 2030 will begin by introducing campaigns that will be easy to understand and easy to relate by people, such as the Don't Waste Food, river equals to drinking water, and so on. Connecting people with nature from the surface level and slowly taking them into a much deeper level, so that they will realize that a human's life is 100% dependent on the well-being of Mother Nature. We will also be working with GLCs and corporates, such as the TNB, Water, automotive dealers, green companies and products to craft campaigns, events and activities.
The benefits of GMCM 2030 for Malaysia.
GMCM 2030 creates a positive and responsible image. This green and clean image of Malaysia is not a small thing, but a very powerful image that will attract tourists and foreign green investments. In short, this project is going to put Malaysia on top of the world. Because, in coming years, the wealth and strength of a country will be determined by how sustainable a country is, environmentally. There will also be a great deal of benefits for the Malaysian tourism industry. This project will also help the Ministry of Transportation in promoting electric vehicles, EVs, by introducing special number plates, with GMCM and GMCM 2030 number plates. Overall, GMCM 2030 will have a profound effect on Malaysia, and will be the catalyst in ushering the nation towards sustainability, and potentially become a role model to the world. This will have a massive impact on the growth of our economy.
Malaysia, without GMCM 2030.
For most people, the environment means something that happens outside. They don't realize that the most fundamental need for us to stay alive, the food, water and the air that we breathe, comes from this environment, which often most people refer to as something outside. Without first making people realize that human life is 100% dependent on the well-being of our Mother Nature, it is impossible to create a sustainable world. If the people do not understand that climate change has a big impact on the marketplaces and economy, people will blame the government for everything. As of now, Malaysia is importing 60% of its food. That means we will have no choice but to pay whatever the price is fixed by those countries that produce food. Prices of basic commodities will increase. People and the country will suffer. But the question is, why do we need to face all this when we can solve it? This is why it is immensely important to show full support for GMCM 2030. Because this is not just a project, GMCM 2030 is a vision to transform Malaysia to become the most sustainable nation in the world.
GATE, the Ambassadors of Nature.
Global Action Team, GATE, started in 2003 with the intention of addressing environmental issues on a global scale. Now, after more than 15 years of R&D and planning, GATE is primed to become an international environmental rejuvenation powerhouse in the near future, by launching its phenomenal worldwide multi-language environmental rejuvenation project, entitled, Kingdom of Nature, It's Now, or Never. GATE is the first ever organization in the world to create a worldwide multi-language environmental rejuvenation project on a mass commercial platform in a non-stop fashion, targeted at reaching more than 8 billion people. GATE, the vaccine for climate change.
Climate change. The big warning.
Almost 50% of the agricultural land in the world has been degraded, and this situation is getting worse. Combining this with the growing population, producing food for the entire world will become impossible. But the most important thing that people need to know is, once famine hits all of us, it will only keep getting worse, and cannot be fixed. It means, irreversible damage has happened. What does that mean? It means, we won't have enough food to eat, we won't have enough water to drink. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the reality of climate change. As per our R&D, climate change has the potential to ignite war, for the purpose of dominating the fertile land and fresh water, a possibility that cannot be denied, as history has clearly demonstrated the exploitative nature of humans, and it could be much deadlier, when survival is at stake.
Hello Malaysia. Are you ready?
Malaysia is an incredible, wonderful and beautiful place for human beings to coexist, live, enjoy and explore, but this beautiful nation would become a hell of a place to live, if we failed to take responsibility and provide compassionate care for our motherland. GMCM 2030 is indeed a very powerful project, where its impact will last for the next 100 generations. Support and join GMCM 2030. Together, we will lay a strong groundwork that will last forever. This is our last chance. It's now or never. Thank you.